I figured out that my ex got a hotel room for his side girl. Me and my ex were like broken up during July and up until August, but on July 22nd, he started reaching out to me again, texting me, wanting to work things out, yada yada. Okay, so fast forward, it was a Friday night. He had off from DJing, but I was still bartending. So I texted him and I was like, listen, if you were actually serious about making this work and actually want to fix things, you're gonna have to come into my place, see all my friends, face your fears, because he's afraid of my friends at this point, and make it known that you want to fix things with me. And he does. He shows up. He's at the bar taking shots with me and my friends. Cool. He ends up going to another place around 1 a.m. because he had an obligation to be at. And then after work, me and my friends, without him, make plans to go to one of my friends' apartment rooftop hot tubs. So it's like 4 a.m. And he texts me and he invites himself. He's like, I really want to come. Like, if you want to make this work, why am I not invited? So I'm like, oh, of course, you're more than welcome, you and your friend. He shows up. We end up hanging out on this rooftop till like 5 a.m. While we are sitting up on this rooftop, I say, hey, like, how about we actually sit down and hang out one-on-one, not in a group setting, not with friends, not in a club, like Sunday night. Let's order pizza. He had just moved into a new house. And let's just hang out until Tuesday, like a 2-day retreat of us just like finally fixing everything. And he's like, that sounds perfect. Okay, so that all happened on Friday night. Wake up Saturday, we're texting like normal. He stops texting me around 8 p.m., which does piss me off, but you know what? We have plans on Sunday, so I kind of let it go. I bartend, he's DJing, cool. I don't end up getting texted until 16 hours later when I start blowing him up at like 5 p.m. on Sunday. Now, I don't find any of this out until later Sunday night, but in the meantime, from Saturday at 8 p.m. until Sunday at 5 p.m., he ended up working. Then going to an after-hour spot where he met up with a girl who was already his girlfriend. He had asked her out a few days before. Meanwhile, we had been talking that entire time, so he was just overlapping the two of us. Then, after they left that after-hour spot, he brought her to a hotel room. Now, there were some complications with his new house that I did know about. However, it was a livable situation because we were going there on Sunday. But whatever. He brings her to the hotel room where they spend the night, and then they show up the next day to brunch together because he is DJing brunch at a place that she works at. They show up together. He's still not hitting me up. So 5 p.m. rolls around, which is when brunch ends, but it usually takes him a little bit to pack up and get money. So I knew that we weren't going to meet up till 6. So I start blowing him up. I'm like, why aren't you answering me? Like, what's going on? It's been 16 hours. We have plans in an hour. Like, am I supposed to take a shower, wash my hair, pack a bag? Like, I'm supposed to be staying at your house for the next 2 days. Like, can you give me a heads up? Like, what is happening? And usually if he had done nothing wrong, he would just be like, oh, calm down. Like, I'm really sorry. Whatever. I'll see you in an hour. Like, cool. But that's not what he did. He started getting defensive and nasty. Why are you blowing up? Why are you always like this? Why do you have to ruin our plans? Why are you a psycho? Why are you all this shit? I'm like, oh. So you don't answer me for 16 hours, which is already suspicious in and of itself. But now the way that you were acting, I know that something happens. But at this point, I know absolutely nothing about this girl. I know absolutely nothing about the after hours. I know nothing about the hotel. I don't know anything. I just know that I didn't get answered for 16 hours. But I also know where there is smoke, there is fire. And where there is fire, there is evidence. So while I am waiting for him to respond to my text messages, because at this point, he's threatening for us not to see each other that night. But he's not saying that we're not yet. He's still saying, like, if you don't calm down, I'm not going to see you. If you don't stop freaking out, I'm canceling our plans. So I'm like, let me take this opportunity to look online to see if anything is suspicious about last night. I go on the first person story. There was a DJ from out of town that was visiting, that was DJing with him at work. I go on that man's story, and wouldn't you know, he's the one that posted the video of my ex and the girl in that embrace where I was like, hey, trust your intuition. This doesn't look right. And there were other videos where I could see them together. And that's when I sent the screenshots and the screen recordings of those videos to my boyfriend and immediately got blocked. So literally, he was with me on Friday, was with her on Saturday, had a hotel room for her on Saturday, showed up to work with her on Sunday, and still really thought that him and I were going to spend Sunday night, Monday day, Monday night, and Tuesday day together.
Oh God, this is a bit too much for me. I'm not too sure if I can process all of this information. I mean, it's a bit chaotic, isn't it? Wow, girl, you've got a hell of a story here. To start with, I think it's quite nice to have your ex coming back and then trying to make things work. I mean, for sure you guys have a long story and you're trying to make things better, getting back together, getting back on track. But it just doesn't seem to be working, does it? I mean, this guy, I'm not too sure if it's the right thing to do for you to get back to your boyfriend to be in a party at 5 a.m. in a top proof. But they decided to deal things like that. And I thought it was going well, but then she mentions that he just kind of ghosted her and he doesn't seem to be really caring about her and then being part of her life again in a relationship as a boyfriend, because he found someone else. That's not nice, is it? I mean, if you're getting back to your ex-girlfriend, it's because you miss her and you really want to go back to her. Why are you thinking to have another girl in your life? I don't mind if you have a friend, but if you're taking a girl to a hotel room, that doesn't seem just like a normal friend, does it? I do feel sorry for this girl. I mean, she has been through a lot. She has been through all the pain and the breakup and then getting back together, which is sometimes quite hard because you might not have seen that person for a very long time. You don't know what's going on in that person's life. I mean, you're just trying to get to know each other again, basically. For you to know that he has someone else, that's not right and that's not good at all. Yes, girl, where's the fire? There's an evidence. We girls, we sense these things. She could tell something was wrong. I mean, I don't appreciate someone turning into... I don't appreciate the fact that he's blaming her for his actions. He was the one that is trying to get back to her and find another girl. And now they are in a hotel. I mean, that can be very professional, don't get me wrong. But I think if she suspects something, it's because something else is going on. I mean, that didn't take a long time, did it? It's quite sad you're trying to get back to your boyfriend and then a couple of days after you realize, oh, he's probably the same person, he's hanging out with this girl and I found it on social media. I promise you, there's nothing worse than finding out on social media that your boyfriend is cheating on you. It's just not right. I guess if they had an issue, they probably could have spoken about it. They were trying to get back together and maybe if they had any issues with each other, maybe they just should have put the problems on the table. Not sure if this is the right way to work out things, but I do feel sorry for this girl. I mean, she ended up finding out that a boyfriend is just not a boyfriend anymore.